once again to Mearachd, episode 19. 19, that's not bad. Not bad, almost to 20.
I was about to say that's almost nothing.
19 is impressive considering how many deaths we've already had. Well, deaths and deaths. So, what has led you all to making it to level 19, and where do you find yourself?
Level 19.
I'm sorry,
Amazing.
episode
Nope,
19.
already
You
said
are
it.
not
Nope, you already
level
said it.
19.
Level 19.
We
All right,
need
we're
a
all
lot
leveling
more
up.
money, and yeah, we're gonna level up like hell.
No,
so
you are not
thanks,
leveling
GM.
up. You are not level 19.
It sounds like the 8 provided.
That is
Charles,
not how
we're
the
level
provided.
19 now.
No, that is not what
All
happened.
right, finally. I'm sick of being a low-level loser.
I gotta
Exactly.
I gotta fix cams now, but give me
Your
1 sec.
parents are gonna be so proud.
His parents are gonna be like, "Oh, you just think you can fall into money and power by accident?"
It's about time Steve started leveling us like we deserve.
Oh my god.
14 levels every episode.
If this was my game, we'd run for 12 solid hours and gain 4 levels. They're laughing, Steve. They don't know.
This may be part of the reason, Charles, that this is not your game.
Yeah.
The first time I was wearing a t-shirt.
I have to sleep
People don't know.
eventually.
I'll run
I
3
would
miles
die.
in 1 night. I do not give a fuck.
I don't know who's talking about a t-shirt, but I don't think that has anything to do with Mearachd.
Oh, that's me.
In all
Might have
seriousness,
something to do
no.
with Gilmore Girls, though.
It's my new Gilmore Girls t-shirt company.
In all seriousness, no. Where are we? Where did we leave off?
They're gonna be
So,
sold at Banana Flies.
2 weeks ago, we fought some feral goblins. We were pretty outmatched. Most people were subdued. Those of us
Unconscious, yes.
those of us that were not, well, I surrendered. Constog, they weren't interested in eating her because she's a hobgoblin and it's a type of goblin, and I guess they're not cannibals. So they took us back to their camp, and they were definitely going to like eat us, and they were like dancing and gonna sacrifice us to their god. And so Brianna, who was still awake, she started fascinating the leader and caused some goblin fights to break out. And then she started using ghost sound to mimic a bear, and they started fighting over whether or not there was a bear, because some of them didn't believe and some of them did. So after causing a little bit of chaos, we were able to, wake everybody up, and Kent went and started fighting one of the goblins, and basically in all the chaos, what ended up happening is we fought the goblins. Once one of them died, the rest of them ran off. And some of the goblins also ended up killing each other.
that was definitely a big help.
So after that, we started heading back towards campus, and we were about a day out when Irina showed up. She was flying, and she shot at us, but didn't really do much damage and flew off. So right as we were on the outskirts of town, then we ran into the Rage, who I guess were sent to come to our aid. So they led us back to Professor Phelan. Kent showed Phelan his favorite book, and Phelan failed his will save and thinks that all the answers can be found in this book. So Brianna's like, yeah, you should show it to Candor too. So, well, to the other dean is what she said. And so he's like, yeah, that's a great idea. I can do that tomorrow. And so he and Kent stayed and were studying the books, and we went, or that book. And then we went to Banana Flies.
Mm-hmm.
Always gotta fit a Banana Flies in there,
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So, did we, I don't remember, did you guys get some time to talk over dinner if you guys wanted to talk over dinner, or did we finish up dinner and get you all to sleep?
Well, the two of them stayed back to read the book.
Mm-hmm.
The rest
Right.
of us went to Banana Flies.
Yeah, they'll glean what they glean from the book as time goes on. It's not like an immediate thing. The book takes some time to learn its knowledge.
Mm.
But yeah, I think we were talking a bit before we ended, or maybe, I can't remember if we were talking or if we ended at going to Banana Flies, but it was...
Well, is there anything that anybody wants to bring up to the party minus Kent before we transition to the next day?
Do not have anything personally.
So what can we do about them getting enchanted by this book? Because that seems like a problem.
Well, you have to
Do we
know
know
that
they're
it's happening
enchanted?
first, yeah. And you're not entirely aware that it's happening right now.
I mean, we know
So,
something's happening, right?
Brianna could probably explain her experience with it, which is that she felt compelled to look at the book, but was able to shake that off.
Yeah,
And-
it gives a strong desire to read the book, but that doesn't, like, they haven't shown any ill effects from being compelled to read it. This
No,
could
they
just be a
don't
way to
seem in
make a
their
book a
right
New York
mind.
Times bestseller.
Something seems fishy about it.
Agreed. Something does seem fishy about it. And you
I'm worried this will affect my grades, frankly.
That's what you worry about everything, bud.
you think that by bringing Professor Phelan the best book he's ever read, it's going to have a negative effect on your grades?
I think you need to be paying attention to my advanced theories on spell command.
Ah, okay.
Well, I mean, you could always choose to read the book, because he may just be quizzing us for the rest of the year on stuff from that book.
I don't read anything that comes from the 7, and not after the Scorpion incident.
Well, this isn't the 8th. This is whatever that temple was that we found underground.
Oh, I assumed it was from the 8 and want nothing to do with it just because it's from the 8.
No, we found this book in Doncho's room, and then when
Oh,
we
that's
went underground, I don't know, I can't remember if Kent shared this with everybody, but when Kent was in the temple, they basically, or whatever the deity was like, yes, take the
Hello,
book and share it with
Ben.
Thank you.
people. Like,
No, Kent did not share this information.
okay, so I wouldn't have said that since I don't know that, but out of character, that's what we know.
Yeah, I assumed it's some crazy the 8 shit, and I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I'd say that's a rational personal conclusion for your character to make. So yeah, you guys can discuss things there. Oh, thank you. So you guys can discuss a matter of details related to the issues with Kent and Phelan. But you have a plan for tomorrow, and maybe, perhaps, the second dean can help you know more details about whatever this book is.
He's exhausting. I'm gonna need some coffee.
All right, in the morning, you can grab as much coffee as you want.
As much as I can carry.
A magical thermos full.
Yeah, it just keeps refilling.
Yeah, you could actually pick up for the day. You can rent an ever-flowing thermos of coffee.
How much is it gonna cost me?
It's basically the same price as buying 10 coffees for the day. So we can kind of hand wave over that for right now. You don't get to keep it. You have to return it, though.
Okay, alright.
So, apropos of nothing, there was the incident where I went as a human being, not in character, where I went to that bread chain that advertises all you can drink coffee for the day. Paid the $5 because I had a lot of written work to do. And went to work so rocking the caffeine that people had to tell me to keep my volume down all night. Which anybody who knows me knows that's like a problem. But yeah, I was there. I probably easily drank a pot and a half of their hazelnut coffee. And, I think unlimited coffee is probably a bad idea for humans.
It is. What was the cost, though, of that unlimited coffee?
It was being introed at a $5, Steve.
Wow, that's not enough.
Yeah.
I mean, as an orc, though, I can handle a little bit more than you.
Sure.
It's not to...
You absolutely
No,
can.
it's fine.
So yeah, the 5 of you can head back to see Phelan. Kent, you probably meet with Phelan as soon as he's available, I'm assuming.
Yeah, sure. Sounds like a thing.
Because he wants to go over more of this book with you, and together the two of you are coming to understand it. This book has a lot of really good tips for how to get ahead in life. This, if you follow the directions of this book...
Ahead or ahead?
Ahead, all one word, not ahead, 2 words.
Find the corpse.
But yeah, Phelan will be excited to see you come back. The book, you have it, yes.
Yes, right here.
Oh, good. I'm always worried that somebody's going to take something of value like this. Well, I have set up things with Candor. Are you prepared to see him today? Are your friends coming?
Was he willing to read the book?
He is willing to take a look at it, yes.
Oh, okay, then. I'm good for that. Let's read the book. I settle back into a chair. I settle back into a chair and open the book and just start reading.
No, not yet. We need to bring it to him first.
Well, I got to catch up on a few things.
Oh, okay.
I'm studying this passage right here.
Okay.
It's something about a head.
Yeah, the other 4 of you can eventually make your way into the class over some time. Good, you're here. Good. I wasn't sure what time, but he'll be available shortly. Did any of you want to take a look at the book real quick before we go and see if there's any questions you might have from it?
I turn and hold the book out towards them.
I avert my eyes immediately.
Yeah, I am willfully not looking at him. I'm like, no, that's okay. Thank you, though.
All right.
I take it back and I said, like, whatever, you're lost.
So after
I turn it sideways. I turn it sideways and like,
Wait, are there pinups in there?
No, this is just a very interesting calculation.
Oh, okay. Eventually, Phelan will say, all right, it is time. He is ready now. And the 6 of you, or the 5 of you, can make your way to Candor's office. And
Do we hold hands and skip?
you will come up to that familiar wall that you know is sometimes solid, sometimes not.
I have no idea.
Except you can't. All right, who's going in first?
Going in where?
Oh,
I'll go
here.
in first.
Any gestures at the wall?
I will go in first.
That's a wall.
And Brianna walks through the wall.
I'll go in second.
I close my eyes. I take a step forward and go, the 8 will provide. And I step forward.
You go through the wall.
All right, Comstock, you first. I'll bring up the rear.
All right. Can the 8 provide me with a camera from...
Candor?
Yep, I'm asking him to...
Oh,
come
boy.
back in. And let me correct the cameras. All right. Oh, let me hide this. Sorry, guys. Go. Candor is apparently resting as you come into his small office here.
I will make a knocking sound. And I'll say, Mr. Candor, sir?
That is the wrong one. Why is that all messed
The
up?
cameras are still wrong.
Yeah, they're all super wrong. I don't know why it gave me
I was
a
just
totally
like, that
different
Candor,
way.
you're muted.
Nikolai.
Yes, hello?
I got a lot to fix
Yeah,
here.
you have something on your eye, sir.
Oh, yes.
Did you just wake up?
I will look back at everyone else and say, let me do the talking.
Why?
I'm looking at
Why?
Kent specifically when I say this.
Why?
Because I have the best voice.
Is
Can
he
you
not?
also do the
Wait.
listening?
Did we not say that he's one of the professors?
Yes.
Then why can't I speak?
I just said let me do the talking. You can speak after I'm done.
We're not. And I open the book and I drop it in front of Candor. I go, we're all here for the same thing. But you can go ahead and explain it as I keep motioning towards the book.
Should we have come later?
Oh, no, you're fine. I just,
You need a
Quick
shower
nap.
first or something?
No, that's not today. Or well, no.
I'm just gonna step a little further away from the.
So, the reason we're here is we were looking through the Ranger Doncho's cabin, and we happened to see this book.
We didn't see it. This is my book.
We found it in the desk that you opened.
Find it, of course, because
Can you let her talk?
I am letting her talk.
You're interrupting.
Mr. Vice President,
I'm speaking.
Yes, I'm speaking. Thank you.
So, anyway, so this book seems to be very compelling to read. I haven't read it. However, Professor Phelan seems to think it has all the answers, and he can't seem to put it down.
Don't listen to her. She doesn't understand. It does have a large number of answers and will help me do better with my classes.
So, and there was also some tunnels underneath and a temple of some sort. They spoke in a language we didn't understand. What was that language you were speaking, Kent?
What language? This is common.
No, it was
That's
like
why you can
undercommon.
understand me.
Undercommon.
It was something like that.
Well, we were underground, so that's why we would be speaking. So I'm assuming that if we're speaking common underground, we would call it undercommon.
So an important thing that Candor would know is there aren't any like drow underground. Any drow that are here have like immigrated like naturally. So they aren't like drow that live in some sort of well, there sort of are, but you're not supposed to talk about those drow.
Is Phelan known for being an avid reader?
Phelan is known for reading things when they're important, but he tends to like prefer Cliff Notes versions of things when he can get them.
So it might be a little strange that he's so adamant about this then.
Yes, especially that he's adamant about sharing it.
Yeah, that's
as they said.
Odd. And
I don't understand. I think it's perfectly normal to want to share a good book. Would you not disagree? I believe I've heard you say many a times that you want to share books with people.
Yes, I do enjoy a good book.
I pushed the book further towards Candor.
And you said you were reading this, Kent.
It's my book. It was in the drawer, so I took it because that's where my book was.
How much do I know about Kent's background?
In the drawer at somebody else's cabin?
I mean, you recommended him to join our party, so...
Yeah, so you know that Kent is one of the most devout followers of the Eight. Kent really truly believes in the concept of the Eight will provide more than anyone you've ever known. And that level of like willingness to devote yourself to the unknown, to chance, is kind of the wild card you think that might help push this team over the edge.
Now, in terms of literacy, what scale is he? Is he like 3.5 barbarian or?
Kent, what is your intel?
Kent has a whopping intelligence of, hold on to yourselves, 17.
Oh.
Yeah, so you would know Kent to be a very intellectual person, but you know that the way that he does things is sort of deliberately perplexing. You can get away with a lot more when you spread confusion to people.
Yeah, he's equally as intelligent as he is chaotic. Got it. Huh. And you want me to read this book?
I tap the book. I go, yeah, right. This passage right here. I think it might even say something about you.
Roll me a d20, Candor. You are in the game, right?
How do you...
/r space d20, but I don't see you in the game. Did I not throw you the link? Here, hold on.
Didn't I?
I can just grab it from here.
He woke up a little late, so he's still getting himself together, you know?
Here you go.
The roll 20?
Yeah, there you go.
Ah, yes. There we go. Ah. launched. And man, it's a lot. It's a lot for me about to roll this like 5. Okay.
Well, there's a few rolls
Just
you may have
take
to
a
make.
5 and go with it. So
I don't think he'd
Let's
like to
see what we
take a 5. All right. So yeah, you look at the book, and for a moment you feel like, yeah, this book is exciting and well worth reading, and very clearly trying to push its way into my thoughts.
You said you found this book underground, yes?
No.
It was in a ranger cabin. There were tunnels leading underground from that same cabin, but this was actually in the ranger Doncho's cabin.
I see. And Undercommon? You said it spoke Undercommon, or were you just saying you spoke Common underground?
well, yes, I was doing both actually.
Oh. Interesting.
I assume everyone speaks Undercommon.
You
There
know
wasn't-
what they say when you assume.
Is there
Me-
what? We meet. Is there anything else under there? Or anyone?
there
So there
were-
were
there's a dolphin.
Yeah, he summoned a dolphin. No, there were rangers patrolling, and the tunnels led to various ranger cabins, including, we believe, Arena's cabin. And then one tunnel led to this like underground temple, and we couldn't get through, but Kent could because he speaks Undercommon.
Wait, you summoned a dolphin?
Yeah,
Why?
it was helping us fight.
The 8 will provide.
Was there water?
No, just
We're
grease.
underground. Why would there be water?
What?
We were underground. Why would there be water?
Stop talking to me. What? Water could go underground. You do know that, right?
Yeah, water can go underground, but there was no water. If there was underwater, we'd all be drowned. That wouldn't make any sense.
You understand what summoning does, right?
Yes.
And you understand what swimming is, right?
There's a small lake near Harveston, yes.
So
You're not
Erasmus
evil, are
has
you?
his head down and is just like he is like you could see him nervously touching the sling at his side as he is desperately just trying not to engage with whatever the fuck is going on.
Just think of the angry journaling you can do later.
Oh my god. So much.
Long.
The page will catch fire.
With that 8.
I tapped the book again. This part right here.
I-
I'm pretty sure it has your name.
I'm not sure about that. I think that this book does not have my name in it, and is of no importance to anybody, and nobody should ever read this.
I take the book, I pull out a pen, and I write Candor in the book, and then I shove it back.
Ooh, when you try to write in the book, give me a will save.
Excellent. That's where I'm a Viking.
Yeah, you, like, really almost painfully, like, damage this book with your writing. And you feel really bad for having written on the book, but his name is now in the book.
Why would you do that?
I see your name is in the book now, so you should probably read it. Yes. Yeah, you should probably read that now.
Do you even know his name?
His name, yeah.
What's his name?
It says right there in the book. Look, you can read it.
Probably just
No,
wrote your
thanks.
name.
Do I have any
Tell
idea?
you what it says if you read the book.
Do I have any idea what kind of magic this is, or?
You would need to look at the book with the proper visions to tell.
Because this sounds like some mind-affecting things, and
Well, you're already fairly certain there was some mind-affecting thing that happened there. But maybe this book is just trying to be popular amongst the youths.
Oh no. Do I know of Is there like a knowledge of local books? Is that a thing?
You can give me, go ahead and give me a d20 roll.
Good, there it is.
This is no book that you're aware of. I'd like to keep in mind that...
Is he aware of any books?
Well, Kandor has like a crazy high bonus to knowledge. Kandor is a very high-level bard. And so...
He's aware of a lot of books.
Yeah. But no, you're not aware of this book at all. In fact, what little you saw of the book, the words were like assembled in a very weird way. It was almost like as you read it, there was a sort of like passive rhyming scheme about the words. Like every fourth sentence had words that rhymed with each other at the end of it.
Odd. It's not there, Gage, that's for sure. And what I read of it was in Undercommon, though, right?
No, it is in common.
Oh, it is in common.
It is in common, naturally. Well, are you seeing the value of it? It would really help me with my classes.
What have you been able to glean from it so far?
I believe that it will teach me how to run my classes more efficiently, and help me be more successful as an educator.
Any specific nouns or anything in this book?
There are a lot of, like, not proper nouns, but there's a lot of usage of the word you, and words like excel or success.
I was just going to say, the book also helped him get his whites brighter and his colors more steadfast.
I'm, like, actively looking upwards and away from this book.
Well, we brought it to you because we thought if anyone was going to understand this, it would be you, and really make it clear to everyone how important it is to read this.
I'm gonna, like, rummage through my desk drawers and see if I have anything other than regular notebook paper and pens.
No, unfortunately not. You are very low on your supply of alternative things.
Now, for detecting magic, I would have to look directly at it, wouldn't I?
Yes. But you're not reading it to use detect magic. You're just looking at it.
Okay. Well, if he has it faced out towards me, what I'll do is I'll walk around it so that it's upside down, and then try to look at it so I don't accidentally read pages.
Okay. So you can detect magic on it, and as you are looking at the book, give me another d20 roll.
Burn my eyes real quick.
No, it's not that kind of powerful. So you can see a couple of different transmutive effects on the book. You can definitely see the enchantment layer on the book. Thank you so much. And you can also see like a weird twist of necromancy. But it is all woven very tightly together.
Phelan, have you looked at this magically yet?
I didn't think to. I was so busy reading it that it... Hold on. And he'll, like, focus in. Enchantment and transmutation and... necromancy. Oh, well, you know, there are a lot of necromantical spells that really help you focus.
What?
Yes, perhaps that's why the necromancy's in there, to help with focus. Transmutation to widen your mind, enchantment to clear your head, and necromancy for focus.
a lot easier to focus when you don't have to worry about breathing.
Exactly.
What?
I mean, there's a lot of biological functions, I suppose, that could be ended,
That's
which,
motive.
and would, you know, free up more brain power.
Yeah, you are fairly certain, listening to these two, that this book has a crazy stronghold on their minds.
So if I were to say that I wanted to take this and research it myself, Faye, I'm gonna look over at Faye.
I think you're not here enough for us to be able to research it as well. We would need it left with us. We can do the front running of the research, but we would like to be around whenever you're going to do anything with it.
That's what I was afraid of.
What do you mean afraid of? It's perfectly fine. We're not being unreasonable here.
Too bad you don't have some magic spectacles you could look at it with.
That my eye is able to tell. It's just fine. I don't know what your problem is. I don't think you understand. And Candor sounds like he looked at it himself. You agree, right? Necromancy
Candor.
for focus.
His name is Candor. His name is Candor.
Well, that convinced us all that you came up with a name 20 minutes later. Anyway, so yes, there is nothing more mind refreshing than the necromancy spells. What are we doing at this point?
None of the rest of you have the urge to read this, right?
I resisted it.
I wouldn't touch that book if it promised me 10,000 gold.
Oh, but I believe it
Does.
will promise you 10.
Does.
The amount of success you could get from following the procedures in this
Page
book.
412, paragraph 3.
Yeah.
The stag doesn't look like he wants to read this, does he?
No, the stag does not look like it wants to read this.
Do not,
Okay,
do not let the stag read this. We need the stag on its game. It's the MVP.
Yes.
If you could just let them all know that we all need to be on the same page about this book, everything will be okay. So just tell them.
We're all kind of on the same page. We all know there's something special about this book, right? I mean, you can say that.
Exactly, and that's why we need to read it in order to get to the bottom of it and have it help us all in our lives.
I'll kind of use my foot to kind of try to close it so that I can read the cover of it.
There is no writing on the book, on the outside of the book.
Is there a certain design, or is there a certain does it look like it's made out of a specific material, or?
It is a standard sort of leather-bound book. There is not much that looks special about it in any way.
Huh. Well, that's kind of interesting.
No markings or?
No.
So perhaps the Rangers found this book underneath the tunnels and they've been using it to guide their lives.
Oh, wow.
The ones who tried to kill us?
Yeah, those Rangers.
Okay.
Wasn't in their cabin.
Not great guidance.
But it wasn't in their cabin, so they weren't reading it.
Yes,
it was in Doncho's.
I don't know how you could make that supposition based on the fact that
Kent has said this is his book.
Haven't read it.
It was literally in Doncho's cabin, which Kent literally picked the lock and took it out.
Why
of his
would
desk.
Kent lie?
Oh, no,
They
I'm
stole
not
it from
referring to
Kent, did they not?
You. You're correct. Kent
Did they not? Maybe they stole it from Kent, right?
I didn't. Yeah, it was my book. It was in his drawer. That's all.
Yes.
I'm prone to agree with Kent here. His story makes sense. He was accosted by the Rangers on his way here, and they stole the book from
the
him.
courier kept my letter, and so the Ranger
Yes.
had my book.
Kent, ever the voice of reason.
Oh Lord.
Still waiting to see the transmutation on the carrier. So.
I think what's important is that we realize is that we're all not wasting our time doing this. I mean, this is a great.
How Do I feel like I've regained some of my sanity since I
Yeah, you've gained back a reasonable amount of it, but not tons and tons of it.
I was just gonna say, you've gained back some sanity, which now puts you at a real plus for that character. But is there really a lot of sanity for that character to be gaining back?
Well, I'm just curious as to if I no longer have a drinking problem.
No, you still have the drinking problem. A drinking problem
okay.
doesn't just go away, and 12-step programs haven't really been created yet.
Fantastic.
I mean,
Oh God! Now I have a mission
you've-
for my next character.
even if you've like solved the underlying problem, you still have that addiction, probably.
Yes.
That's true. I was hoping I would figure that out by now.
I want you to know that my real person will be there for your character.
I mean, honestly, if there's any
So
day
you
to
can
drink,
call
this
me
would be
in
it.
character, and I will pretend I'm doing a 12-step.
That sounds like something a substantial would say. So, nothing about this book makes sense to me.
Nothing about this book makes sense to you. This is not a book you're familiar with. It's all written in common, no labels on the front of it. Magic that doesn't really make sense in the way that it is.
So it doesn't follow any rules that are set in place currently
No.
that I'm aware of.
No.
Interesting.
Have you heard of a deity that is got undercommon? That speaks undercommon?
They can all speak whatever language, right? That's pretty much an understood thing that deities can speak
Well,
to
with
whoever
a
they
with
need
a flat score though, you would know there is one deity for certain that there are two deities rather for certain that would
Oh, I
have
see.
undercommon as a common language, Kandor, and that would be Ulaz and the Kashrin.
Oh, well, there's Ulaz and Kashrim.
What?
The whoa,
The Kashrim is the other one.
what is the Kashrim?
Is that knowledge that I feel like I would want to spread?
That's sort of up to you if you want to tell them about the current Lord of the Abyss and the person that created the great computer to run the country of Kashrin.
I don't know if I even want to know that, frankly, but if you feel you need to.
Do you know about the country Kashrin?
No, I'm from Sierra Savannah.
I believe I have no history knowledge.
You need knowledge geography here.
Oh, knowledge geography?
Yeah. To even know where it is first and foremost.
I'm not into places.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, I guess I'll spare you the sanity. Very evil, Lord of the Abyss, that sort of thing.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, he's always been kind of that way.
Nice shot.
Shashat?
In that kind of way. Oh, yeah, I'm a big Shashat fan. Long-time listener.
Yeah.
And who is Ulaz?
Oh, yes. Wait, what? Oh, you must not follow religion then. Very much. Sorry, go ahead.
I could do a knowledge. Can I do a knowledge religion? I did take that point.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a knowledge religion. Let's see if you know who Ulaz is. Yeah, Erasmus, you'll know who Ulaz is, and Konstag, you will know quite a bit about who Ulaz is.
Well, look at Konstag with that 31.
As will Kent.
I like my roles reflecting my knowledge.
Ooh.
So Ulaz is known by some to be the betrayer.
Betrayer.
Ulaz is followers of Ulaz have a hand clenching a dagger ready to strike someone in the back.
Wow.
They are known for being treacherous. They often use subterfuge and disguise and a number of other things to get themselves into other religions or other organizations and bring them down from the inside. And they do so by eliminating systematically all of the members of that group, whether through force or through erasure of the group itself from their minds.
So do you think they're targeting Shashat?
Well,
Out of character, sorry.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I guess in character too, because this is the university. I mean, it sounds like maybe they're infiltrating the Rangers or something, maybe.
For those knowledges, I'm going to go ahead and get out of my desk. I'm going to get a gold star for Kent and Constog. And then I'll give... well,
I'm not sharing anything I know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, gotcha. Then just Constog. And I'll get a You Tried sticker for Erasmus.
So, actually, this is important because Constog, with your 31, just an added point that you'll know, when they wipe people's minds, they're not actually wiping their minds. What they're doing is murdering and replacing people.
Oh. Far less magical.
The rumor is always that they'll wipe your mind, but it's largely because they've assumed your identity almost entirely.
Yeah, that's... Ironically, that sounds very much like Nellic, even though... Anyways, but... Yes, So I suppose it could be one of those two. Yes. The Kashran, hopefully it's not, and hopefully you don't have to look into that if it can be prevented, because that's... Kashran... There's a lot of things that are unknown to this world, and the Kashran deals in that realm to some degree.
Well,
And,
give me a quick knowledge check, though, here. Something about this doesn't fit right.
Oh, come on.
Okay. So, everything you know about the Kashran, if it were about the Kashran, if this were a plot of his, it probably would be like using rangers in a very methodical way to perform acts of like making creatures from the wilderness disappear for external benefit. Something about this doesn't line up, though.
Seems unlikely that it would be the Kashran unless there's something else at play here. It's not his MO, per se.
And as far as you laws, like, a book is a really indirect way to sneak up on somebody, assassinate them, and replace their life. This is converting them. That doesn't really make sense either. Neither of them really have mental conversion as their MO either.
Yeah, he's more about piercing damage than bludgeoning damage.
Yes.
So, suppose I will have to access some knowledge here. Maybe this has something that's been forgotten, for lack of a better term. Would this be an optimal time to go through my glossary?
Yes.
My Rolodex?
You can try to use glossary on it. And what about this book do you want to use glossary on? Or what specifically do you want to use glossary on? I should ask as the question.
Well, the book is very plain, which I feel like wouldn't yield me a lot of results. I suppose I guess there's nothing visually like that stands out about it. Nothing on the pages. No.
I mean, there's weird magic on each of the pages that is transmutation based.
That's true. I suppose the magic that least makes sense about how this book seems to be working.
Okay.
I don't know if that would be the transmutation or the necromancy, or if it'd be possible. Well, I guess it'd only be possible to look at one of them.
I think the necromancy probably speaks to you a little bit more. But go ahead and give me your will save.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so you reach your hand down and you focus on the necromancy magic and you're touching it. And you'll just get a brief description about what necromancy is. The necromancy of life and unlife, blah 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 necromancy.
Fantastic. I assume that if I did that on the transmutation, it'd be mostly the same.
Yes, because you don't have the most specific aspect you need of that thing. You'd really need to get to the bottom of what the spells were in order to get a better example of what's going on.
I'll try to flip it, I suppose, to the first page to see if the first page is. I'm not going to try to read it, but see if it's just immediately goes into the text and it follows the same pattern as the other pages, or if it looks more like an introductory page, like with a title or an author or something.
No, there's no title or author. It just goes. There's a blank page and then it goes right into the book.
And I'm assuming the back.
I am dangerous.
I'm assuming the back page is more or less the same.
Yeah, one blank page and then like the last page of the book. Give me another D20 roll though, as you're looking at the last page. Actually, can I have everybody give me perception as he's looking at the last page?
Yeah.
Is it perception or that other trait, Steve?
Perception. Because it's trying to spot it as you change the page. So all of you will recognize, except for Erasmus, who's probably just getting annoyed by all of this, that the very last page doesn't have just common writing in it. There are some other weird things on the last page. Some other weird, like, symbols blended in with the text that don't make sense.
Well, that's not good.
And none of these look familiar, I'm assuming?
None of them look familiar at all. None of these symbols look like anything that you've ever seen, not from any language that you know or have encountered.
Phelan, what do these symbols mean?
Phelan looks them over. I'm not familiar with any of these.
But this is your favorite book. You seem to understand it.
I haven't finished reading it yet.
Woo! So strong, that reaction.
Well, I don't like when people question me about my knowledge. It's very offensive to a professor of my stature.
I'll kind of go over the symbols and try to see if I can figure anything out from that. See if it brings up any information.
I'm pretty sure they're map coordinates.
You're using glossary on these symbols?
Yeah.
Okay, give me another D20 roll for your will save.
Oops. Keep
nice.
Bringing up the dice.
Yeah, you touch it, and you will hear the following. I need to find this real quick. Necrol, an ancient language of the dead. The whispering tongue is shared among undead and is often associated with necromancy. You have never heard of Necrol before. Necrol does not exist here. You've theorized that such a language could exist, but it seems like nonsense. Why would the undead need to talk to each other? They can talk in literally any other language. Why make a standardized language?
I have a language similar to this, but I don't know what this specifically is. What is this Necrol? What is this? Anybody familiar with this?
No. No one can be familiar with Necrol, as it doesn't exist. I think, Charles, you're muted.
Oh, yes, I'm definitely asking that.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, I
move your
actually
camera.
went out and tried to find out about Necrol, and the people we were cautioned at it, I would say, was one of the things, and we were not able to get much other than that it's a language. It's attempting to be a language, and it's a language for undead and necromancers, and certain followers of certain traditions, for lack of a better term, use it.
I'm going to attempt linguistics. I was going to try to find the origins of the language.
No way.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if it was borrowing from any specific languages or not, but
no.
This is really yeah, we went and bought a whole set of Botanicas. You know what I mean, for like $2,000 and couldn't find it in there.
Oof.
I know.
Well, it didn't give me any information.
That's some information.
Well, it gave me a little bit of information about Necrol, but it didn't give me any anything deeper than that. I'm assuming that
Give
This
me
would be more or less-
give me another knowledge check here. You're getting close. So Necrol is a language of the undead. Undercommon is a language of the abyss. There is a person who loved undead that made his way into the plane of the planes of the abyss, and of all those other things. His city remains standing to this day.
Somebody I knew personally.
Yes, somebody that you did in a previous life know personally.
You guys did like a job together, you know what I mean, and then had brunch after, because that's how it seems to be rolling with your character and awful things in this world.
Well, this is
Yeah,
actually
we
not
know
entirely
Candor.
untrue.
We know Candor. We had brunch after we destroyed the civilization.
In fact,
he probably doesn't remember though.
In fact, you would know that the Erasmus person, if he could remember his previous life, would have remembered the conversations that you shared with this creature.
Whatever my previous lives were.
I'm so mad because the name is blanking on me right now, and
Man, this is legal tender.
oh,
Boy, even I got that one.
yeah, like
Going. Yeah.
I knew that as soon as it was pointed out that I would feel really stupid about it, and congratulations, I do. Wait, but he's so much more evil now.
Well,
I thought
he's
he-
actually the same amount of evil. He's just more willing to inflict it upon people.
Yes, he's
I was trying to-
less greedy than he is evil now.
Yeah, I was trying to, my character was trying to move him into the idea that making money would be more effective than doing the things he was doing. But, you know.
Then you
I
went and got
disappeared.
erased by the timeline. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
so all that money-making acumen, you know, went back to just pure out evil.
I'm gonna look at Erasmus. I thought that we fixed him. Never mind. Do I know if he's still here?
no, he likely resides in the deep plains, working with the Lord of the Abyss and the Lord of the Hell, the Hells.
So he's been gone there since he left. Then theoretically,
Yes,
which means
That's
that he
Steve
was.
Litchington. He's a doer, Steve. He's a doer.
he is a
You know,
doer.
He's a micromanager at best.
Yeah.
So theoretically, then he would know about the timey-wimey stuff, and oh no,
And perhaps has had plenty of time to prepare and set things up.
Do you guys know about Steve Allure?
Who?
What?
I would need a knowledge religion DC 40 for any of you to know about Steve Allure.
all right, I'm
I don't-
reaching for the gold.
I don't think that's possible for me.
Nope.
Awesome.
Excellent.
There are things you could do to offset a 40 in the rules, but they
I
would
got
require
more
so
than
much
half.
time and access to a library that it would not be worth it for us to do.
Well,
Yeah, so none of you are familiar with Steve Allure.
perfect. I've been working on a spell that I think might help with this, and I'm gonna try to focus on Steve Allure, the person, not and I'm going to try to give some background information with a second level spell.
All right. So Candor casts another spell. And as he's doing so, he pulls out this reflective black rectangular surface and sets it down in the center of the table and starts casting this spell. And all of a sudden, let's see, Brianna, neither of you are sure what the spell is. All of a sudden, though, the little black glass surface lights up and a video starts to play. A video with that slowly pans across a city, and explains.
Candor production.
And explains. Steve Allure was the product of a long car trip. After some discussion about his world, the great creator was told that his world is just nothing more than a place filled with great evils, and that his own self-interest would lead him to create some sort of character of great power that is some kind of lich, a Stevelore Lichington, if you will. And out of spite for such suggestions, he did exactly that. Created a lich to live in the world by the name of Stevelore Lichington.
What's a car?
I was thinking the same question, and I'm scared now that I was thinking the same thing as Ken.
It's one of my old promotional videos for Stevelore suddenly started playing. Like,
Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll focus on cars.
Yeah, so a quick blurb about, like, the automobile plays across the screen, and there's, like, the 1950s, like, trumpety music that's going on, and talking about how...
Today's Chevrolet!
Yes. But then the video will gradually come to a close.
So they put horses in them?
No, it's the equivalent of a horse. The horsepower is the equivalent of how
Like the
many
magical
horses.
carts that we have in Sierra Savant.
They put
Yeah.
horses in
What?
carts?
No. The carts.
Little
that drive
horses? Do you transmute them too?
Yeah,
No,
it's a
there's
unit
no
of
trans-
It seemed to
measurement.
be some kind of clockwork devices. That was fantastic.
Oh, this backfired miserably.
Can
Oh,
we
I've done
get
it for
one?
more. Well, you'd have to go to Caution for that, and you don't want to do
No,
that.
I meant a cart.
Oh, a cart. You don't have a
Yeah,
cart.
the one with the cart with the horses in it.
You don't have a cart.
Horses in the cart or horses pulling the cart?
You just
we
said a
don't-
magical cart. I'm assuming if the cart is like the car and the car has horses inside of it, then the cart has also got to have little horses inside of it. We
There's-
gotta have one of those around here. And I
There's
think one of
no
those
little
would be really
horses.
great.
There's no little horses.
So we don't have a cart. Of
Yeah, I don't know if I
Yeah,
can believe you
they're
people
ponies.
because you think the carriers aren't pigeons.
Little horses are ponies. But that's-
Oh, that's what it is.
No, they're not.
That's why they're little. See, they're ponies. It'll work.
No.
I don't know how they're fitting 500 of them in there, but that didn't look like 500 horses would fit in there.
Magic.
Yes, it's the
Yes.
equivalent of 500 horses.
Exactly. The magic propels the cart. There's no horses anywhere. The person drives the cart. They control it.
So the spell's called horsepower?
Sure.
I'll have to look into this.
Well, it's a fourth wall spell. You won't understand.
Fourth wall spell?
Yeah.
I look around and start counting the walls.
There are 4 walls.
There are 4 walls in this room, so this room has that spell.
However, you know one of them is kind of fake. So are there 4 walls?
I don't know if all of them are fake because I closed my eyes as I walked.
Oh,
through.
okay.
One's just flexible.
Exactly, like magic.
So
Permeable. It's a
horsepower. Got it.
But it's not a
I'm
permutation.
going to start researching that spell. I grab the book and spin it around and start reading.
Okay.
Oh, good. He's got to be quiet then.
So,
It's
so
not
what do we
math
do at
magic.
this point, then?
Well, that's likely the big bad behind this in some way, shape, or form. How he reached all the way out here, I'm not entirely sure. I didn't think that he would. It strikes me as weird that he would be outside of RA4, right?
It strikes you as weird just in general that he's even got any interest here, because, I mean, in previous timelines, there was no instance of him being disruptive once he left. He left, and it was basically like he didn't have any desire in coming back. So it's very odd that he is, like, re-emerging, or even anything linked to him is re-emerging.
Because from what I know of him, he seems like he'd be interested in mostly just Stevelore, the place, and Stevelo.
I mean, after going into the Abyss, it's hard to tell. Like, once he went in there, it is hard to tell.
Yeah. But before that, he seemed like he was pretty much interested in that place and that place alone, and his own whatever he could do and whatever he wanted to do in that, within the realms of Stevelo.
Yeah.
Would it be a knowledge religion for what I know about liches?
Yes, that would be a knowledge religion.
Okay. Nothing.
Ooh.
Wow, 27.
So Konstag and Erasmus. So Nikolai, you've heard the term lich before, but don't really know exactly where. Erasmus, you know that a lich is a person who is like worked their life to become an undead creature, and gain special power, special mastery over undeath that allows them to be unable to be destroyed. Konstag, you would know that there are very, very few people that have ever like achieved this process. It's a very dangerous process, and it is the kind of process that requires you to take great risks for that could like put you in an altered mental state, not just an altered physical state. So death isn't the only potential negative outcome. You can physically like drive yourself to insanity or worse by trying to go through the process. So there are very, very few that have ever accomplished it. And even those that have tried their best to make sure no one knows they've done so.
So I guess I would ask them if they relay this to me, but so do liches consume things? Like, or do they eat? Do they have needs that for anything like that?
The answer to that is kind of no, but most of them like go after becoming liches in order to gain greater and greater power. They have such a thrive and lust for power that they will pursue it even beyond what the natural like limits of mortality are. So
they may not be in Mearachd for maybe resources necessarily, but more like maybe to gain power for something?
Perhaps. It's a reasonable assessment to make.
So my operating theory with evil is that evil just tries stuff and kind of sees where it goes.
Just throw stuff at the wall and sees what sticks.
Yes, what kind of evil sticks, you know what I mean? So you cast a tendril out and hope for the best.
Are there any gods that have particular interests or specific viewpoints on liches?
Yeah, so one of the greatest and most honorable things you can do are things that you can achieve by the, according to Delanrian, is to obtain lichdom. Doing so is one of the greatest honors and shows what a profound mastery over life you had, that you are given the gift by Delanrian of the truest of eternal lives, where you are full of form, function, and understanding.
Is that the only known way to do it, or is it possible to do it outside of the realms of Delanrian?
Oh, you absolutely can achieve it outside of. So doing it by the religious means requires like a significant amount of devotion to Delanrian, and like it's been said that there's only ever been one person who's ever become a lich via Delanrian's power. Most others have to do it via like a very complicated arcane recipe.
How does Delanrian feel about that outside of his own power? Like if people do it of their own volition?
So Delanrian is all about people finding whatever the true life that they want to lead, regardless of how they manage to get there. And if they're not supposed to be living that life, then inevitably, like, the universe will get its compensation.
Okay. Gotcha. Interesting. I'll kind of like pepper in those notes about Delanrian when they're after they're done speaking about the liches.
Burn through the liches.
Well, if you're looking at this and you think that this has something to do with this lich, you can't be right. It's giving me good advice, topics on how to better lead my life.
What
Definitely doesn't say anything about horsepower in here.
What magics did you see on there again?
2 instances of transmutation, 1 of enchantment, and 1 of necromancy.
Oh, I know why it's necromancy. It's made from trees, and you got to kill a tree to make a book.
That's intriguing.
Intriguing.
Oh,
Downvote.
Oh. This isn't Reddit?
I don't know Reddit.
Is horsepower 2 words or 1?
1.
Oh, okay.
Well, why did you ask that question? I don't understand.
I'm looking for the spell horsepower.
No. Why did Candor ask me what I saw? We already went over this. I made it clear. 2 instances of transmutation to enhance your understanding. Enchantment to help enthrall you into it and keep you calm. And necromancy to help you stay focused.
I don't know if that's how that one works.
Make your mind like the mind of an undead, focused on one task.
I find it interesting that there's necromancy in this book and a language of undeath in this book. That seems to not be about.
Those likely tie in together.
It's really on theme, right? Not the theme of focus per se, but certainly.
What are you talking about? Give me, if you can't provide any better alternative, then my answer is the best answer.
Yes, my belief is that it could be necromancy to do what most necromantic things do, which is slowly drain the energy of the living until they're dead.
That's absolute nonsense. What reason would anyone have to do that in a book this helpful? Why would you write a book about being exceptionally good at about making you exceptionally good at your job, and then make it so that it drains your life force? That would be counterintuitive.
Actually, that would make a lot of sense.
So I'm going to do it. He's just going to go, because evil?
Why not make a book that you can't put down that you think has all the answers, so you pour all of your life into this book?
But think about where you got this book. You got it from Dancho. And Dancho's been doing very well.
No.
He has.
While they're having this argument, I'm going to go through all of the necromantic spells I know in order from 0 to ninth circle in the background while they're talking about this that apply to this specific kind of.
As of late, Dancho has been moving up the ranks very swiftly.
Yeah, except when he, got arrested because he's also involved with the poaching of the animals.
You mean the poaching that he fessed up to so you guys would get in trouble? And we'd have to let him go?
Why would we get in trouble for that?
Well, because you brought him in on false pretenses. You had no evidence, and so we couldn't keep him. What evidence did you find that he was responsible for the poaching?
Well, we asked about.
So that
poaching.
actually has nothing to do with the book, though. Just because he got off on a technicality doesn't mean.
Well, you're calling into question whether or not this book is making him successful. And I am saying that as of recently, he has become dramatically more successful with the Rangers. He has rose up the status ranks within the Society of the Rangers. And
So we should emulate criminals.
And it's very interesting that around the same time, or that this is shortly after, he and Irina have been working together more closely.
Are connected to an ancient temple underground.
Perhaps this is a temple of knowledge. Secret knowledge.
Secret evil knowledge, yes.
It doesn't matter whether the knowledge is good or evil. What matters is what we do with it. And if I use it to educate tomorrow's students better, then I think it's well worth what we put our time and money into.
Well, I was with you the first part of that, but you said there was a temple down there?
Yes, there was a temple.
Were there any religious symbols or anything of that nature?
We couldn't go in.
We couldn't go in, and it was no religion that we recognized. Only Kent was able to go in.
He's not paying attention, so if I asked him to share that memory, he probably wouldn't be... What is Kent like?
Sheer random chaos?
you have any keys you could jingle?
Extraneous dialogue?
Phelan realizes what Kent is doing and like starts looking over Kent's shoulder to read along with him.
I bet you two couldn't race each other to the back of that book.
I've read this 3 times.
I could read faster than he can.
Oh, I doubt it.
You know, if you cut that book in half, you could each have your own half.
That's utter nonsense. You'd lose all the focus from the magical energies.
But his name's here. I know. It's right there. See? His name.
Whoever his is.
His name.
His Candor's name is right there.
It's totally not a name you just learned.
It's right there.
Like I said, nothing says I know somebody's name than 20 minutes later coming up with it. After it had been used in conversation 3 times.
How many cups of coffee is Nikolai on?
8.
Already?
So this has been some pretty
painful.
quality, frustrating time for the methodical and judicious method that Erasmus likes to use for things. So I'm not sure what we're supposed to do now. Do you want to go to that temple, Candor?
Kent, you said you were down there, right? Or they said you were down there, right, Kent?
Underground, yes.
Did you see this temple they were talking about?
My dolphin was killed there.
It was killed on purpose.
On Greece, actually, but...
The gnome just comes through every once in a while.
Oh, I don't have enough sanity for this. Did you get a good look at this temple, Kent?
I went through the doors.
Okay. Did you see anything down there? Symbols, holy symbols,
There were
ancient
symbols.
creatures.
There was
Oh,
a voice.
a
Statues.
voice? Statues?
Yeah, I suppose it was. I suppose if you had to discern what a temple was, I suppose it could be described as a temple, but I've lived in a tent most of my life, and the temple I worship at is a little wooden shelter with a little statue in it.
Well, do I have, Steve, do I have, spells that allow me to,
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you, would be willing to, share this memory with me, I will,
Of my childhood? By all means, yes, I would.
No, well, no, it's specifically
It'll teach you all about the 8.
specifically of this,
Lord.
this temple, this underground you went with. I'll actually show you a memory of the 8 in return.
It's not a temple of the 8, though.
No, it's no. I don't think
So
that
I
it
don't
is.
need to. I don't need to show you
There's
that.
too much structure for that. No, if you would show me that, I can
Not
show you
on
a memory
fire.
of the 8.
Show you a temple of the 8? I've
No,
never been to
the-
a temple of the 8.
No, who's on first? The temple that you were in underground.
Oh, yeah, the one they didn't want to go into.
Yeah, if you would be so kind as to think about that and let me touch your head real quick.
Are your hands clean?
I'm
I'm not a germaphobe. I just want to know if your hands are clean.
How clean do my hands look?
You mean you just woke up, so probably not very?
Prestidigitation.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
It
his
wasn't
his
necessary, I
hands
just
now
wanted
start
to-
to foam up and like a bit of water drips from them as he cleans them. And then it all kind of fades
Clean the
away.
area of his head that I'm going to touch as well. And then I'll try to receive the memory.
Yeah, so are you willing to share the memory of that temple with him?
Sure, the 8 will provide with you those memories.
Okay. So you will see this, a giant statue of this deep within. You will hear him speak words in Undercommon, and you will hear words spoken to him in Undercommon. I've already sort of done the check on this. You will know this to be a Thanadaemon. These are undead. These are like, they're not really undead. They are outsiders that are built as a giant skeletal form. They are often like the thing that the image of death is based on. When artists like draw something up to resemble death, they use this creature as kind of their the image that follows them. And these are strongly linked to death. These are the deciders of what happens to a soul when it is not going to the great Celestia, is instead falling down into the deep realms. These creatures will decide which direction the souls will flow, sometimes keeping one or two for themselves.
Bastards.
Oof. I will relay that information as soon as we're done with the share memory spell.
And you were going to share a memory of the 8 with him as well, correct?
Yes, I'll share a memory of when I was traveling with the 8. Like one of the most chaotic things about it that I can remember.
Okay. So you see, Kent, an image of a man wearing this giant suit of what looks kind of like armor, but also like pieces of the 8. And as you look at him, something about his face looks familiar. Something looks... Oh my god, it's the great hero of the 8. He's...
Roderick?
Yes. He's standing there, ready to jump into some kind of giant pit with a long pillar of light coming up from it. And he rushes forward and leaps in and slices downward into...
And dives sword first through multiple different colored portals?
Yes.
While everyone's screaming no at him?
Yes. And you would know that you are now watching the very story that makes him the great champion of the 8.
Because he is Roderick Harvest. Thank you.
You're welcome. I figured it's the very least I could do, considering it took all that mental energy for you to focus on that.
It is the 8.
And he did provide.
Yes. The 8 provided for the great Roderick. When we were children, we learned to make medallions of the 8. Would you like to see one?
Sure.
I'm gonna immediately avert my
Is he
eye.
gonna give it to you in
No,
the
I
book?
reach into my my backpack, this thing, and it looks like it's made out of clay, and was molded by hand.
Oh,
It'll probably summon scorpions, which will try to kill you.
it's not coming into focus.
Oh,
There we go.
Ooh. You made that yourself.
yes. Well, when I was younger, they is one of the things we did as children.
Oh, yes.
It was to look as the one that Roderick began his pilgrimage with.
Yeah, we all do things when we're younger. Some of us are a little more vain. Like to get...
That's amazing. It must have been painted by a great artisan.
It was.
I didn't realize it was show and tell now.
Oh,
I like
I
to keep-
painted this one when I was younger.
Ooh.
I like to keep mementos from, the old days. But, yes, that's a Thanademon. Terrifying, horrifying, leaves the souls, all that stuff that,
Right. But it knows secrets of the underworld, right? So perhaps this will unlock some powers over that as well to help us gain the strength of the underworld. He's not
like
smiling as much as I am. I'm just not able to contain the ridiculousness
we
of
have
him
like
saying.
a school nurse or something that's like some sort of holy person that can like break enchantments of some sort.
We're not enchanted. I don't know why you keep implying this.
No, we meant you were enchanting as you're delightful.
So maybe all of you need some break enchantments, yes.
Yes, perhaps we should all get that.
Well, why would I need
Sure.
it? I'm the professor here. I've not been traveling.
Oh, yes.
Perhaps, though, all the rest of you could get a break enchantment.
Well, that doesn't seem fair to make all of us do this. And not
Or
have
you could just
guys.
read the book. You
I
can try
did.
that. No, everybody else should try and read the book. Seriously, your names are in here too.
I'm waiting for him to pull out a pen and try to write their names in the book.
He pulls out a pen and I'm gonna fake writing in the book.
Give me a sleight of
And
hand.
wait for it. Oh, you want sleight of hand?
Yep.
Okay, and a bluff?
No, you can. Your sleight of hand is enough to try to make it look like you've written
I
in the
wish
book.
I could see both at the same time. Oh, excellent.
Bold of you to assume he remembers our names.
He doesn't actually know any of your names.
Yes, remember implies that he once knew their names.
Look, we don't have time to be talking about this. The book talks about how things like this are very inefficient.
Yes, you want to beware of those time burglars.
Yes.
They waste a lot of your time.
I've heard about time theft. They talk about it within the school a lot.
I'm gonna. I don't know if I could do that if it works that way, but let me see real quick. I don't know if performing any oratory would be helpful
No.
to get him to stop talking about this goddamn book. Drats.
I'm not talking about the book. I'm reading the book.
Oh, I meant
Less
your
talk,
best friend.
more read. That's all I have to say. Less
But
talk.
you're
more read.
not. I don't understand why you're not agreeing, Candor. This book has a lot of useful information. Tell them all we need to read it. They all need to read it. Or we should just go. This isn't particularly helpful. You haven't really given us anything useful.
Ooh, man.
Well, we can go. I'll have them go fetch Doncho again, and perhaps he'll have some answers as to what this book does.
That was so easy last time.
That doesn't seem like a wise idea to me, does it, Steve?
It doesn't necessarily seem like a great idea, but you also don't have a lot of ways to get answers. There's only a handful of ways here to get answers. Either have them go fetch Doncho, or have them go try to get back into that temple and try to get deeper.
Ah, so those are the paths that I've seen this
Yes.
go down before. Well, that seems like a terrible idea, but not the most terrible idea.
You know that down some of these paths, though, there is a chance that they fight Irina as well, and that she is there, and there's a chance that they do not. Those are the three paths that you know will happen if they choose to follow up on this book.
Well, there's generally three ways this ends as far as this conversation. Usually you guys either follow his advice and he goes, or you guys go fetch Doncho. And what exactly were you suggesting that they do? Just talk to him about this book that he clearly hasn't been enchanted by as well?
Yes, if he comes back here with them, we can learn more about this book. You all could convince him that the book is here, and that might motivate him to come this way. And if he won't be motivated, perhaps you can bring him. You can bring him here, and he'll vouch for the fact that this book is his, and that it's rightfully Kent's property, and that he's a thief, and at least we'll be able to get him on something.
How dangerous does sending them back into the temple seem?
That much you're not sure, because your visions cannot see past the temple.
But as far as I know, that thing didn't appear to exist within the temple.
That was simply a statue. You have to assume it's not likely in the temple, but sometimes you never know with these things.
But he also heard it, so...
Yeah, he heard a voice.
Yeah, well, yes, a voice that I assume is probably that or something of that nature. Well, there's also the option of going to the temple. Or you guys occasionally will run into Irina and have to fight her. But
Well, with all of those options, it seems like Doncho might be the best option. I mean, I do have a spell that would allow me to speak Undercommon, but I don't know if that would work for getting in the temple anyway.
Well, it sounds like it's settled then. You all will go collect Doncho, and he'll give us more insight into this book.
Did I see him entering the temple and how he got in there, or?
Yeah, he spoke some words in front of the door and in Undercommon, and that opened the door.
Okay. Do I remember the words that he spoke, or?
I don't off the top of my head, but you would remember.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
Okay. I'll write them down in Undercommon on a sheet of paper, and then rip that off, and then give it to her if you decide to go that route. But yes.
I will take it and put it away just in case we decide to go that route.
Okay.
I could use it as a bookmark.
I'll give her a second one just in case.
Thank you.
And the second one, I'll just write Kent's name in Undercommon on it.
Okay.
If he wants that one, he can have that one.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. So we have a plan then. Yes, you're going to go get Doncho and bring him back here again.
Yes.
And how should we get him to come back agreeably?
Let him know you have the
Let him
book.
read the book. See?
He might just say, "Give me the book." back."
Well, you could leave the book here, and I'll read over it.
No.
Well, then what if he takes it from you?
Well, then you can come with.
I can't
Him
leave.
and Irina kill us.
Exactly. Then he'll have the book.
Killing us is the major problem.
Best to
taking
leave the
my
book
book.
here.
Why don't you
No,
just leave the
this
book
is
with
my
Candor?
book. This is my book.
Candor's not
Maybe you
around
should
enough.
Stay here and we
I
go
went
get
through a
that.
lot to get my book back, and now you want me to give my book away?
I like this one. I'm glad she ended up here.
Go ahead.
Not give the book, just loan the book for temporarily to keep it safe. You wouldn't want those filthy feral goblins to get it or something, would you? They probably would tear
You
it
mean the
apart.
ones I was trying to kill and you all got mad at me?
Well, also I can make sure that Phelan doesn't take it as well, and that way you don't take the book from him, so neither of you can take it from each other.
Yeah, but they said I don't know you, so I don't know if I can give the book to you either.
Well, I know you. I met you before.
Yeah,
So,
I met you
sort
too
of.
when I came in. But since I just learned your name 20 minutes ago,
That's true.
Wouldn't it be safer just to leave the book here? You never know what we're going to run into in the wild.
I mean, I'm already agreeing, but unfortunately, diplomacy checks don't work well to convince your mind-controlled party members to do things.
It's to bring the ugliness of the rules into it.
I was
Maybe
just
you
out to ask what was going to counter diplomacy.
Well, can't Ken just stay here?
Yes, he could stay here.
Couldn't Kent and Professor Phelan just continue their important studying of the book while the rest of us go get Doncho?
Yes, a good point. And I can help by allowing you access to resources that would help you get out there faster.
That would.
Oh, is it a horsepower spell?
Of sorts, but not spell.
Does it have something to do with horsepower?
Yes. They would
Oh,
be
look at me closer,
powered
look.
by
Oh.
horses to get out there.
Oh. You're talking about a cart.
Yes.
Pulled by horses.
Perhaps, or horses that we make magically faster.
Ooh, horsepower.
Using horseshoes of speed.
Ooh.
It's not the same thing.
We don't normally have students utilize these, but in this case, this is important enough. I think I can have an exception made. These should get you there in half the time, and get you past most of the things you might worry about.
Disappointing. And he scrunches up in the chair and opens the book so it like covers his face.
But it would be best if you could leave the book here. That way it's not at risk. But
Yeah, we don't want that book at risk.
Yeah, we wouldn't want anything to happen to it. Doncho could easily team up with Arena and take it from us.
She would have to come down to take it, so I don't think that's happening.
it could.
Does it say it in the book? Look in the book and see if it does.
It doesn't, because it doesn't mention horsepower either.
Weird that book doesn't have that in there.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So the
Phelan,
most efficient way to get by, though, is to continue to reading this book.
you know that Phelan will keep the book safe.
I suppose he could if it was his. I don't see what the problem is with me keeping it.
Sharing makes friends. Don't you want to be friends with Professor Phelan?
I don't know. You guys don't seem real big on being friends.
I don't really
Just
know
leave
exactly,
the damn
Ryan.
book here.
Okay.
I'm not sure where all of this is going. So what are we trying to do here, people? And elves?
We're trying to convince Kent to leave the book here because otherwise what's stopping Doncho from just taking it from us, or from the book getting lost, or, you know, a myriad of things can happen between here and there. It's safer for the book to stay here.
The likelihood of the book getting lost seems rather slim, considering that we're constantly having it foisted at us. You know what I mean? It's more like
Fine, take the book. Look, just get Doncho back quickly. I don't have time. We've already wasted enough time with this. I have a class coming up. The book is very clear that I'm being very inefficient right now, okay? But if you lose that book, I will spend my resources to bring you back so I can yell at you about it.
Well, thank you for springing for the res, sir.
Not you, him. His 8 will provide.
The 8 always provides.
It had better. I really want to lose this money, so better provide me with the money after I bring you back and bitch you out.
What would you bitch me out for?
Losing the damn book.
I'm not losing the book.
I've got class.
Anyway,
But I do have a question before we go. Who lost the door?
There is no door.
Then
You
how'd
were
we get
saying,
in?
Candor?
Speaking of lost books, is any news on the book? Is he spoken with you?
Oh, that book.
Yes.
I believe.
Antaeus has been sending semi-regular updates, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So yeah, the book will
Semi-regular,
have been refound.
He definitely would mention after having it been lost, after it having been found after Pyre, because that seemed very very, very important for people to know just in case something happened. Just like whenever any kind of big milestones kind of happen, but not too often, just in case,
He doesn't want to torment poor Constog too regularly.
Well, more so in case anybody finds out that he's doing it, and he doesn't want somebody eavesdropping, or if there's a set schedule or something, and popping into his dreams like certain professors or something like that.
So this, no, I guess it doesn't matter. Carry on. Sorry.
So yes, as far as we know, the book is returned. He found it again.
That's good.
Of course, it's right here.
Different book.
No.
Much more important.
So if that book's so important, how did it get lost?
He died.
I'm running late for class, people.
Oh,
okay,
yes,
let's get going.
yes.
I'd love to have this debate, but let's get going.
Thank you.
we late
I'm
for
sorry.
class?
No, you're not late for class. I have a class to teach.
Oh.
All right, thank you.
We will take our leave. Thank you, Candor.
Thank you. Yes, any future updates about that next time we meet, just pass them along, and I'll do what I can about trying to track that down. But thank you, I appreciate that.
Certainly.
Now, if the 5 of you will please follow me back to the classroom, I'll get you the slips necessary to get you the horses, and you should be able to get on your way much faster than we would before.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Candor, for whatever it is that you did here. Wasn't help convince them of the right way to do this, but I guess I can't expect you to always understand what the right way of things is.
I was thrown off by the 8. The 8. I was not prepared to be in.
Looks like yet again it failed to provide.
Of someone that's so knowledgeable about
provide.
the aid.
Yeah, we'll
Prophet Kent.
Now, if you'll all please head on
I'm not a
out.
prophet. I haven't worked my way that far up.
If you'll all please head out so I can get to class.
I will leave.
I can't until all 5 of you have left.
I will leave doing this, just like.
Out of here.
There's a spell for that.
All right.
There's no door.
Through the wall. Just walk right here.
Oh, cool!
And yeah, you can head out the wall. He will open up his desk when you get back to his office, pull out some slips, and he will write down some stuff on a few slips of paper, sign them, and then hand one of them to each of you. These are requisition forms for 5 horses of speed. All right. Do you think you can do this? Do you think you can get there, get Doncho, and get back?
We'll do our best.
If he's still in his cabin, I don't see why not.
Excellent. Well, then get a move on. I'll get back to my class. Quickly now, people are starting to file in.
I will wait outside for everybody else.
I will follow out.
Okay. All right, and with that, let's go ahead and take a short break.
Yay.
We'll be back in a little bit.